A slightly different video this time with a story about a low point for the project. Hello, it's James from the Global Portrait Project, where I'm painting 193 subjects from 193 countries, with each subject involved in their country in a positive environmental action. And today's story is, well, it's a little bit different. It's more about the roller coaster ride I've gone through to try and find a subject and a story for country number 46. When I started the Global Portrait Project, I had a number of different short and long-term aims in mind. The first short-term aim was to get started, to find a subject for Afghanistan, and thanks to the wonderful Pashtana Durrani, I achieved that. I then wanted to do paintings and stories for the first 5 countries, and then for the 11 countries beginning with A, and a longer-term goal was to get the first 45 countries, beginning with A, B and C, painted and told. When I finished country 45, the Czech Republic, I'd achieved that goal and was pretty content with how the project was going. But I was about to hit a significant problem. Moving on to the Ds, the first country was the Democratic People's Republic of Korea. I'd known for some time that was going to be difficult, and I'd already made some decisions about what I was going to do. About 3 months ago, I started to try and make contact with people for the portrait. I decided I wasn't going to contact the regime. I was not going to try and contact, even if I could have, was not going to try and contact anybody in country. The access to the population of North Korea is virtually zero, and if I could have, I would have potentially put anybody in danger, so I decided not to do that. So I then had to think more broadly and thought about the North Korean diaspora. I wrote many messages but had no replies, and again, I completely understand why that group might be suspicious of somebody making an unsolicited advance to them. So, yeah, I understand that. I then was thinking more broadly about people involved in remote sensing or other scientific investigations of the state of the environment in North Korea, and found some people who were doing that, but none of them were interested in being in any way associated with representing North Korea, again, understandably so. And I also looked at the people involved. There is a group who are studying the flora and fauna in the demilitarized zone, which is a unique environment, and again, couldn't make any headway with that group. So I was beginning to get a little bit stuck. I'd sent some messages out, some on the Instagram and through other sources I have, to see if anybody knew anybody connected to North Korea, and again was this time making little headway. So I was feeling stuck and a little bit down, and was even thinking about whether the project would be able to move on. I'd always been very keen on sticking to the alphabetical order of the project, and this was potentially going to be a big sticking point for that. So I was really not sure what to do next. One morning when I was feeling a little bit lost with it all, I went for a coffee to the lovely 3 Stories in Nailsworth, which is a coffee shop and art exhibition space, and got talking to an artist who was exhibiting there, Louise Abel, who paints some really beautiful paintings, and got talking to her about the exhibition and about the media that she uses, and then got on to talking about how she'd actually come to organise the exhibition with other people. And she was mentioning that she was part of an art cooperative, the Stroud Artists Cooperative, which she recommended I joined, and I did so. And they were about to have an exhibition, and I put a couple of pieces from the project in and met nearly 100 artists who were just a lovely bunch of people who were very supportive and encouraging. But principally, when submitting the work, I went and had a cup of tea with one of the artists from the group, Claire Hines, and we had a long chat about the project. And Claire made the suggestion about maybe just posting a blank piece of paper for the North Korean subject. I quite liked that idea and played around with that in my head for a while. And that began to get my mind moving towards another solution. And what I decided was, instead of doing a blank piece of paper, was to paint an unknown person. And so what follows is the painting of the unknown person, the subject for country number 46, the Democratic People's Republic of Korea. The Democratic People's Republic of Korea, commonly known as North Korea, is a country in East Asia. It constitutes the northern half of the Korean peninsula and has land borders with countries beginning with S, R and C, and an eastern sea border with a country beginning with J. North Korea has a complex set of environmental problems. It's difficult to get accurate information, although of all the areas of engagement with the outside world, it is on environmental issues that DPRK is probably the most open. There is a significant discrepancy, however, between the state of environmental protection reported by organisations such as the Pyongyang Times and the witness reports of North Korean defectors. Facts that we know about North Korea include that it is largely mountainous. It supports the world's fourth largest military, which needs funding. It has a population that largely live in poverty, with particularly hard times in the 1990s, when significant deforestation occurred. It has subsequently had disastrous issues with flooding and landslides. North Korea is not a high energy user, as the people largely rely on public transport, and the energy use per capita is low. North Korea has poor regulation on polluting, so air pollution and water pollution from both industrial and sewage sources are significant. US intelligence identified North Korea as one of 11 countries most vulnerable to climate change, a vulnerability that Pyongyang acknowledges. It has made strides in recent years, including trying to reduce deforestation and encourage tree planting, along with a rise in recycling. It is hard to unpick the true state of the environment in North Korea. The government have brought in a number of environmental acts, which it says that it is enforcing vigorously. However, the reports from North Korean defectors is one of an environment of significant pollution and barren to a lot of fauna and in a poor state. If you'd like to find out more about some of the individuals mentioned in the story or the environmental issues in North Korea, I have put some links in the description below. There is more information about this painting and how to get involved with the Global Portrait Project on the website and Instagram page, and the links are in the description below. Next time we'll be meeting an anti-trafficking champion from the Democratic Republic of Congo.